Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now today's video is going to be the Gemini Jets 1:400 scale British Airways Airbus A321neo review. Now I've not done a Gemini Jets review in quite a while. It's always interesting reviewing these aircraft because Gemini Jets are kind of a flawed company in my opinion. There's always something wrong with their models. This one isn't too bad. There are a couple flaws with it. However, I'll get to them later. But for now, let's just get into the box. Starting it off, I know the big light beam in the middle is kind of annoying, but otherwise the video would be terrible. Starting off, we have the 25th anniversary logo on the Gemini Jets logo itself. This is a 2023 model, made for collectors by collectors. We then have a clip art of the model. This box has got like a big line down it. I think it's like a bit of a scratch or something. It came like that, which is a shame, but oh well. Airbus A321neo, British Airways, look inside, 1:400 scale die-cast model. We've got the red, that's white. We've got the red down here, and the white and the blue representing the colours of the actual aircraft. And there's the information. Now, the one thing I do like about the Gemini boxes is that they always have a pamphlet, or most 95% of the boxes have a pamphlet. The Air France, actually the Air France one do. The Emirates ones don't have that, and the Southwest ones don't have that either. But if you want to pause to read any of this information, then go ahead right now. Here is the specifications of this aircraft. You can see it has CFM LEAP engines, A321-251X NX. This aircraft was delivered in November 2018. Obviously a cruising speed of 580 miles per hour. That's where the model would sit. At the bottom here, we have Gemini Jets 1:400 scale die-cast model. Highly collectible, superior quality, realistic metal landing gear, detailed printed graphics, as real as it gets features. Not all of them are kind of true. Gemini Jets 1:400 scale die-cast model. Item number is GJBAW2115. Clip art A321neo. Then we've got the barcode, adult collectible model. Then we have the very back of the box. I do like the new Gemini boxes. I think they look pretty neat now. The other ones were kind of just a bit unorganized. But the new boxes are a lot neater, but I still think they're a bit bland. As real as it gets, and obviously we have all that propaganda, GeminiJets.com, and that's all their socials. Then we have a computer-generated image of the aircraft, like climbing, if you will. And we've got that straight line. I think the straight line looks a little bit better. This is, again, a 2023 release, and it's obviously a British Airways licensed product and then made in China. Now let's get onto the model itself. As usual for every review, we're starting off at the front. We have the nose. The nose looks pretty good for an A321neo. I don't see too many issues with it. I mean, obviously there is room for improvement. The cockpit windows, again, look pretty good. Got the windscreen wipers and nose cone details. The pitot tubes down there. And then EOR is the registration. Well, the registration is Golf November Echo Oscar Romeo. We have the Speedbird check there with the L1 door. The One World logo, we have the door latch. The welcome information and a window there. We then have the white fuselage with the blue belly. Then we have the nose gear. Now, this model is supposed to have rolling gear, but as you can see, none of them roll. Which is kind of hilarious. Gemini Jets never seem to be able to do that properly. We then have the British Airways titles with the crown emblem there, which is a kind of newish thing for British Airways. I think they've been there since 2014. I could be wrong on that. We've got the cabin windows, the emergency exits here. Then we've got the emergency exit markings on the wings. We've got the walk area here. And then we have the spoiler engravings there, and then the flap details. And this is where the model is a bit disappointing. The engines, now on this one, they're not too bad. I mean, they're obviously a little bit too big compared to the NG ones and like any other company, that they're just not good enough. The engines have always been too big on the Neo models, but they're not as bad as previous releases, so I'll give them that. Obviously we've got the sharklets there. We have the L2 door, the L3 door, the registration and the Royal Mail logo. Again, the registration is Golf November Echo Oscar Romeo. We then have the main gear, which doesn't look too bad. I think it looks spot on in my opinion. Again, the rolling landing gear doesn't really roll, but there you go. We then have the famous British Airways tail, which looks very good. The colours are spot on this model. We then have the APU, the stabilizers. They look very good. The walkway areas, again, printed very nicely. We then have the antennas. Again, none of my antennas have fallen off so far. We have the emergency exit slide printings here. Moving on to the other side, we have, this is where the luggage goes, obviously. Luggage goes and small luggage goes here. We then have some lettering here, then the measurements of the angle of the stabilizers are at. Then flipping over the model, as you can see, we've got some details underneath. We've got where the landing lights would be, like the printing of that. A stand hole, the Gemini Jets copyright logo there. The gears look pretty good. Again, the gears are really well placed in my opinion. The wings, again, look really good. The slats look very good. This is, overall, I'd probably rate this model a 6.5 out of 10. Obviously, there is room for improvement. Obviously, the engines are a bit too big, and the nose, in my opinion, looks slightly off. And again, the gear doesn't roll when it's supposed to. I mean, it's not a huge issue because people are not supposed to be playing with these anyway. So it's not really an issue because these, obviously, again, are not toys. But I think Gemini Jets really needs to fix their A321neo mold. Again, this one isn't as bad as others, but there still needs to be room for improvement. I'm not saying Gemini Jets is like a really bad company. They do make some amazing models, but it's just the recent ones, like the ATR mold has gone downhill really badly. The Saab 340 was bad. The Neos, the CFM molds A320s are appalling. The A330s are kind of bad. So I think they need to start fixing their molds. Otherwise, it's going to be 2018 all over again, which would be kind of funny. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as well as turn on post notifications. The next model review is going to be the Virgin Atlantic A350-1000 by Phoenix. I'm really excited to do that one for you guys. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all later.